Welcome to ReVoicing the Future, a Women of NAMM podcast, presented by AKG. Just as one revoices a chord, ReVoicing the Future creates a completely new perspective on the invaluable notes that make up the whole. It will uplift women's voices in the music products industry, which have earned their time to be the root of the chord. Once a month, you can catch productive and valuable conversations with women working in manufacturing, retail, the nonprofit sector, music education, touring, and overall women who inspire us. Together, we can help shape the future of our industry, one interval at a time. This podcast is co-produced and edited by Natalie Morrison, Stephanie Lamond, and Julia Olsen.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to ReVoicing the Future. I'm your host, Natalie Morrison. Hi, Steph.
Hello, and hi, everyone who is tuning in.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! At this point in time, it will be 2026. Wild. At this time of recording, it is still 2025, folks, so we're time traveling into the future.
I know. We're almost there. It's going to be great.
Almost there. Yeah. And at that point in time, it will be great already.
And by the time you're listening to this, next week is the NAMM show. Woo! Woo! And before we dive into our episode today, just kind of want to give you a heads up on all the Women of NAMM activities happening this year. If you haven't signed up already or need to add things onto your calendar, which I know you do. If you haven't signed up, Wednesday, there is a pre-conference leadership amplified afternoon that Women of NAMM is hosting with Katie Darrell. So if you are looking for more leadership activations and things to work on, definitely sign up for that. You can find that all on the NAMM Show Plus app and the website. In terms of other opportunities during show hours, if this is your first time attending the NAMM show, Women of NAMM has their annual first time attendee meetup Thursday, January 22nd from 10 to 11 a.m. in the Member Center. So this is a really great opportunity for you to come and meet and mingle and see other women who might be attending this conference for the very first time, have a chance to meet each other and make the show feel a little smaller than it might be at that moment as you're walking into that meetup. So definitely add that to your calendar. Also on Thursday at 3 p.m. in the Idea Center, ReVoicing the Future, we are hosting a live podcast all about the future leadership strategies on kind of the art of listening and the art of conversation. Join us for that. We're really excited. Thursday, also at 12:30 to 1:45 p.m., we have a Women of NAMM deep dive called Harmony Over Hustle, Homecoming to Self, with Janet No, singer, songwriter, pianist, and producer. So that will happen in Ballroom 300A on the third floor of the Convention Center. And then finally, our annual Women of NAMM reception will be held Friday from 5 to 6:30 in the Hilton, California Ballroom D. So come and hang out and mingle and network, and it's going to be a really exciting show this year.
Woohoo! It's going to be great. I'm sitting there like imagining being there again. I'm like, hot dog, it's coming.
I know.
Here we go.
Anyway, Steph, who are we talking to today?
Oh, it's such a good one. I can't wait for y'all to hear this. So we're talking to Theresa Hoffman, who is the Director of Custom Shop Sales, Admin, and Support at Martin. And she's just so fun. She has truly, from the shop floor up, had a really comprehensive career around guitars at Martin. And it's so cool to hear what those junctures were like, how she kind of has followed her curiosity the whole way, and how the right company culture and like context, when you find it, it can be a great growth place to have a career at. Like kind of that thing we've been talking about. Any other thoughts on what everybody's about to listen to?
I think her story is really awesome and one that's really worth telling and just showcasing the diversity of what a career can look like and uniquely how it's at one company, right? But you can also take that into other aspects and other realms of people's career paths as well. So I just think it's a really awesome, well-rounded look at someone's career from start to current.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. I hope y'all enjoy and come say hi to us next week.
We're so excited to see you all in person.
Yeah. Just can't wait to all be together.
Well, with that, grab your favorite snack, pull up a chair, and we will see you next time.
Adios.
Hi, Theresa. Welcome to ReVoicing the Future. We are so honored to have you join us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with both of you.
So you've been with Martin Guitar for about 24 years, and I really want to dive into all of it. So can you start from the beginning and tell us how you ended up at Martin and what your very first role at the company was?
Sure thing. I happened to be laid off between jobs and in need of benefits. And a friend who was working at Martin told me they were hiring. And that's how my career began at Martin. So I started out in manufacturing, filling the pores on the necks and the bodies after they have been stained and sealed.
Wow.
And what were you doing before that? What preordained that career?
I was just bopping around. I was young and I was just trying different jobs out. And it just so happened that the job before Martin, I was at about like 8 months, and they had merged the company and then laid a bunch of us off. So I was kind of in between jobs.
Bopping. I love it. Oh my gosh. And how old were you at this point too?
I think I might have just been around 20. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how was that? I guess those like that early first days, like in that, we don't actually often talk about that like specific niche of it. So what was that like at 20, just like in the lineup? Doing the work?
It was pretty cool because I didn't have an understanding on like how things were built and how this piece combined with this piece and this paint and this finish and everything combined makes a beautiful guitar. And for me, it was interesting because I was in the manufacturing portion of it and getting a better understanding on how things work.
That's awesome. And throughout your tenure, you've touched on many different areas of the company, which is why I think your story is so cool. And they've all been different. So can you walk us through what your transition period was like to where you are right now with Martin? What was that process like for each of them?
Well, I can say my path definitely wasn't linear, and each transition came from a mix of curiosity, opportunity, and overall support from the company. So starting in manufacturing and then quality assurance, it gave me a strong foundation and a deep understanding of how our instruments are built and then the level of care that goes into them. So naturally moving into engineering, project management, it was sort of a natural step because it had allowed me to bridge the gap between like the shop floor and the design aspect of things. And I was able to take what I had learned in manufacturing and apply it to like problem solving, communication, cross-functional collaboration. And what was cool about it is it challenged me to think more strategically and to see like the bigger picture of how ideas become finished instruments. So then transitioning into sales, essentially, I built on all of that, having the background in manufacturing and quality assurance and engineering. It gives me credibility and confidence when working with customers and partners because I understand the product from the inside out, which allows me to tell its story authentically. So, in other words, like each role built on the last. And the transitions were made possible because Martin, they always encourage growth. And for me, like they trusted my ability to learn and had also supported me through each new chapter.
Amazing. Yeah. And so with that, did you see opportunities pop up that you were like, yes, I want to go this route? Or was it more just you started to feel like that fostered culture of just growth, right? Like, okay, what's next? What's next? Like, we're always curious about these junctures of the choice of like, I want to go this direction or I want to make this shift kind of thing. Any reflections on those decision points and how those shifts came for you and like the gumption to do it?
I think if anything, it was a combination of both. Some opportunities would naturally present themselves and I'd be like, oh, I'm curious about that. Yeah. While other times I knew I was ready for a new challenge. I'm always eager to learn. I'm always eager to try new things and, figure out where the next step leads me. So a lot of times I was ready to take a new challenge on and take the initiative to explore what else is possible. So I didn't really have a perfectly defined plan per se, but I did pay attention to what I was learning and where I could continue to grow. So in that aspect, it felt like each step was the right decision because it kept like building on what I've already experienced and then was able to like stretch me in new ways. And when I look back on that, it's almost as if every role I was in was adding another layer to my understanding of the business. And that's kind of what confirmed I was making the right choices as I was going along.
Totally. It's twofold, like curiosity and then also knowing you're in the right place too, like wanting to grow within.
I think also what I find really fascinating is you have this really well-rounded experience, right? Like you can talk for the product and the story of the company from the inside out, which I think positions you really well in that sales role, right? Because people can really trust you with the knowledge of the product there. So that's awesome. For those who are interested in making those significant shifts in their career and seeing opportunities present themselves that they might not have considered as part of their journey, what advice do you have and what did you learn along the way that you wish you knew ahead of time?
I'd say my advice would be to stay open and not be afraid of change, even when it feels uncomfortable.
It's big.
Career shifts rarely come with a clear path, and that's completely normal. You almost have to trust that the skills and the experiences you already have will serve you well, even if your next role looks very different. It's also okay not to have a set destination. Explore, try new things, and experience different paths. For me, I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And honestly, I still don't. So I know that's for many of us. And what I've learned is that you can lean on the people around you and give yourself permission to be new at something again.
That's good. That's really good.
Oh my gosh.
I love
Mic drop, end of interview. We're done.
We're done. Oh, it's so valuable. I was thinking as you were saying that, I love these because they feel like you've given us your time and we're taking you to a coffee or something. And that's like, just give us your thoughts, your wisdom, right? As like people are embarking on this path. So it's just, I'm feeling especially struck right now how cool that is to be able to get that shared. So thank you.
Thank you.
And also just knowing too that it's okay to not have it figured out.
Totally. It's honestly better. That helps you be more
Yeah,
open.
for sure.
Happy medium.
Yes, definitely agree. Because I remember being younger and I would put so much pressure on myself. Like, I have to figure it out. I got to figure out what I want to be and what do I want to do and where do I want to go? And then I finally just gave into it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to experience different things. And, I may end up where I want to be and do this for the rest of my career. But I just don't know what that is yet. So I'll figure it out and it'll be okay.
So now you're the director of custom shop sales. And I know that you guys were creating the custom shop experience at the Martin Guitar offices. What was that experience like to build something from the ground up like this? And now that you've been in the shop for a while, how has it been with it fully operating?
That's a good question. I mean, it was pretty cool. But I have to say, it was truly a team effort. I mean, between sales and marketing and operations, manufacturing, our CEO, Chris, I mean, everyone played a role and was deeply involved in bringing it to life. And it was especially exciting to know that together we were all creating a world-class experience for our business partners and our customers. And being able to experience it today, it's been great. Our custom shop visits are now much more productive. They're more efficient because beforehand, we were constantly moving throughout the facility to like view custom instruments here, or let's select wood. Let's look at all the different wood species we can use, or let's look at these parts, or let's just have a meeting. We were pretty much moving all around throughout the facility, but now everything is centralized in one dedicated space. And it's a beautiful space and it truly supports the process and it's designed with our customers' needs in mind. So it's a pretty cool overall experience.
So when I think of custom guitars, and I feel like just in general for anyone, buying a guitar is a very personal experience, right? Like you're picking your guitar based on what you're looking for, the shape, the feel, the wood, all of that. I feel like custom guitars are even more special, right? Because you're really truly customizing it to a person's needs. So do you have any favorite stories that have reminded you of like, yes, this is why I do what I do, since you're really at the helm of cultivating that experience for others?
Well, you're definitely right. How you spoke to a custom, I mean, you're spot on, because I've always believed that a custom piece is an extension of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really think about it, you're creating an instrument that doesn't just speak to you, it speaks for you exactly how you've always imagined, through its tone, through its body size, through its appearance. And I mean, some of these pieces are truly works of art. And it's these experiences that remind us this is why we do what we do. Because the most rewarding part is seeing the joy and the pride on someone's face, like seeing them open up the guitar case, like seeing the expression on their face and them experiencing and seeing the joy for them to experience and feel what they helped create. Because it's us collabing on something specifically for them. And being able to share that moment with them is truly special. I mean, we've had people from all over work with us on custom pieces. And just knowing that we can get that detailed with them and that personal with them, that's why we do what we do every day. And I mean, that's the overall special and favorite part of it.
Exactly that. I was thinking that as you were speaking too. It's so intimate. What a gift to be able to give someone something that they are part of. One, it's a part of this process, but it's the idea of something that's in your head, being able to translate that. It's so expansive. Like you're helping this person realize something in reality that's just in them. And it's so creative. Like that is incredibly creative to be able to give someone that. Instrument is the word, truly, but like just that extension of themselves is so beautiful. And to be able to create that for them, that's just such a gift. Like it's so connective.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So exciting.
Because you're there from the start to the finish, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if I was going to go in to make a custom guitar, can you walk through kind of that process on a high level to kind of help people understand what that's like?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would be like my team, we would, sit down with you and we try to get an idea of what exactly you're looking for, what exactly it is that you want. And then we work with you on your style of music or what wood tone speaks to you most, what you're looking for. And then, of course, the body size, I mean, it has to fit you well. You have to be completely comfortable with it. Then we get to an appointment level and we get to a design level. And once you're completely happy with what we have put down specifically for you, that's when we take a hold of it and then we put it through the process. And within time, you'll have the guitar in your hands.
That's such a cool process. I've never done that yet. And I really, really want to do it. I need to get my hands on that. That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And from your perspective, do you feel, especially because I keep going back to the fact that you've literally had your hand in like every aspect essentially of the process since you started at Martin. So does this process and being where you are in your career now feel kind of full circle for you?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it.
Well, and on that, we've been talking recently a lot this fall about really long tenures at companies. Like I feel like it's so often now folks bounce around and everything, but you are another wonderful example of someone that is in a place that has nurtured them. You've had your career evolve and grow within it. Just this quality of a company that really takes care of its people, as you were speaking to, right? That encourages growth, encourages you to learn and change within this, container. And so reflecting on how has that continuity and support, right, made that huge difference for you over your career and like kept you there too, right? Like why has that been such a powerful thing?
I think spending the majority of my career with one company isn't something that happens by accident.
Yes.
To your point. So it is a reflection of the culture, the people, and the opportunities that are available. With Martin, I could say they've always invested in their employees, whether it's through trust or mentorship or giving people the chance to grow beyond their original roles, me as an example. And that continuity and support has allowed me to explore different paths within the company, learn from many teams within the company, build a career that's evolved over time time, especially for me. And I know I've always felt encouraged, to raise my hand or try something new and grow alongside of the business. But it's got to start within the company and like knowing the company's values and its people and their long-term development. It's a big reason why I've stayed. And it's helped shape my career into something far more diverse and fulfilling than I could have ever expected or I could have ever imagined, like the first day of starting here.
Talk about the values. Is there something that stood out to you that is really unique to Martin that you feel like that has kind of been a personal passion point for you throughout it?
It's family owned, it's family oriented, and you can feel that. It is kind of like our second home. Like we look at it like that's our second family. And that resonates with all of us here. And that's like the first thing that you think about. And that's why when like you come here, you could see the pride. Like you could see the pride in the work that we all do here. And that definitely speaks volumes. And I think that helps, especially with us that have had a really long tenure here.
As you've grown into the role that you're in now, have you taken some of the lessons that you've learned over the years and instilled that in your team so that they can have similar experiences to you, so that they also have that same tenure and want to learn and grow and stay in different ways?
Definitely. Because to me, like I know myself, very energetic, eager to learn, willing to try new things. And I say the same thing with my team. Like I try to figure out, hey, if you want to be in custom shop and you're completely happy, with custom shop, that's awesome. But if there's something out there you want to try, if there's something more you want to do, let me know and I'll help you. Like I'll see what do you need or what do you want to try or what could help you along the way. Because I want everybody to experience that. I want people to know that we're open. We're open to you trying new things and let's figure out the path to get you there.
It gives folks permission. Yeah, that's such good open leadership. Being like, yeah, this is a thing. Like you could do this. And what do you want to do? And on that, speaking of great leadership, you won a SheRocks Award last year, which was so well deserved. So what was that moment like? And with this podcast, the music products industry, we're doing the things, right? We're like creating the things. It's a little less glitzy than the entertainment side sometimes. And so cool when we can uplift each other and like give the flowers, give the moment kind of thing. So we just love when we get to dig into those moments. So what was that like to get that moment? Like, how did that feel? Like validating all that?
Well, I have to say, I'm still in shock and truly honored, to have received such a prestigious award. And it's something I never imagined would be within my reach. So it's still a moment that really sticks with me and definitely brings out my imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, I have to say, I mean,
it's honest. It's
Yeah. And like for me, talking about myself or achievements has never come easy for me. I'm trying to work on that, but still standing on that stage that night, it was both nerve-wracking, but also incredible at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It felt amazing to be recognized for having such a diverse career path within one company. But I got to say, as I said in my speech that night, I'm truly grateful to Martin for all the opportunities they've given me, because without their support, without them, I wouldn't have such a diverse career path. Like it takes two, you know what I mean? You have to be the one to want to drive and you have to be the one to have that energy and show. You don't only want to advance your career or grow professionally, but you're also growing personally as well. So it's kind of like it's a give and take. And that night was amazing. But yeah, I'm still shocked by it and it sticks with me.
Thinking back on that night, because that night was so much fun, it was really awesome to see. And just knowing how you talk about the company, the support that you had that night from the company, it was just a testament to the place that you work and the culture that is clear to everyone and just how they support and lift those around them up.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, it's that balance. It's almost a model of, we think of like super hyper individualism or like super collectivism kind of thing. It's such a model, it feels like, of like that happy middle balance where like the whole is uplifted by you excelling and shining and being recognized and wonderful. And like everybody being stoked about that, being like, yeah, this is awesome. Like one of ours is woohoo. And like, that means all of us together are feeling this success. Like that's such a model for where I think we all are hoping to be in places that we work and our communities as a whole. Right. So I love that.
Definitely.
I think also when I asked you to be on this podcast, I knew your response was going to be like, I could sense that you were going to be a little hesitant to do it. And you even said like, I don't really know if my story is that interesting, but it is, because I think what's so important about highlighting all stories for women in the industry is showcasing all the different paths and how different it looks for everyone. And everyone's story is interesting. So for someone listening who might not be sure if what they're doing has any breadth of interest or value, do you have any advice for those individuals trying to kind of navigate that?
Yeah. Their own imposter syndrome kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Advice I would give is you're not alone. I mean, we will continue to feel this way. But the one thing that I can say, especially with going through such a diverse career path, the one thing that I did realize along the way is that there are others. We're all experiencing the same thing, even though we may not say it. We'll say it, amongst a couple of us or, a few of us or something like that. Even though it's not openly acknowledged, we all feel this way, in our own way or, certain times. And the advice that I could give is like network, knowing that, there's outreach, knowing that there's forums just the leadership summit alone, the connection that we all have, we're all in different areas of the industry and different roles within the industry. But yet at the same time, we sort of experience similar things and we can help one another with that. And I think that's huge. I think that's extremely helpful because I've learned a lot ever since the leadership summit. Like I've learned a lot from that and from all of you where we've connected and we can kind of swap stories and help one another in that way.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Reach out.
That was a very good transition to this question. And it took me a while to really form how I wanted to ask this because I wanted to be very intentional. Because when we think of Martin Guitar, obviously we think about guitars, right? But I think about the legacy and the commitment the company has for supporting all the women within the company and outside the company, like the Diane Martin Scholarship for Women of NAMM Leadership Summit. I think of Chris's commitment. I think of Diane's commitment and legacy. I think of you, Hillary, Amy, and Jennifer, who have all participated in the summit. And then I can't forget to recognize Kit because of her mark that she left on everyone. So for you, what does being part of the fabric of Martin's history mean to you and your career? And then what do you hope to see in the future for investing in women and their growth?
Well, you definitely, I'm going to use a pun. You struck a chord with me.
Oh, that actually, I have a little lump in my throat right now. Oh my God.
You're right. Because being part of Martin's history, it does mean a lot to me. It's not just about the guitars. It's about the people, the culture that makes this company what it is. And the commitment to supporting women, both within the company and in the broader industry, is something to be proud of. Specifically, like the Diane Martin Scholarship, Women of NAMM Leadership Summit. It's been powerful in creating opportunities for women to grow, connect, and ultimately lead. Like Chris, Diane, and Kit's legacies, along with the work of women like Hillary and Amy and myself, show just how much impact a strong, supportive leadership can have. And for me, being part of Martin's journey has shaped my own career in many ways that I could have never imagined when I first started. And it's given me a platform to grow, basically a community to lean on, and the chance to help pave the way for future generations. The opportunities that I've had here have made me not only a better professional, but also someone who is deeply committed to continuing that legacy of support and inclusion. So for me, looking ahead, I would hope to see even greater investment in leadership and development, whether it's through mentorship or expanding opportunities like the Leadership Summit, or even creating an environment where we can thrive in every part of the business. For me, it would be great to see future generations of women not only succeed, but feel empowered to lead and innovate and inspire, just as I've been inspired by those who came before me.
That's a good answer.
That's powerful stuff. And on that, looking ahead as you have, like, what's getting you curious now, right? Like, it's amazing where you are. And what are you finding your little like, ooh, I want to get into this kind of thing? What's piquing your interest these days?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Or still very much what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still endless curiosity for customs. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's still a little fresh as far as customs, but don't get me wrong. I'm kind of, checking things out, seeing what next path can lead and having conversations here and there. Just, curiosity, but mainly focused on what I'm doing right now, just to feel like I've given it my all, everything that I could possibly do.
And staying creative within that. I love that for the custom shop too. Such a beautiful mindset.
I know. Every single year since the beginning of the inception of Women of NAMM and all of the programming, there are some key companies that have always been participating, and Martin has always been one of them. So hats off to all of you over there for just the consistent investment and growth and collaboration, for wanting to put the women who make up the company forward and providing opportunities to really kind of shine and grow into their own. I think it's just amazing. And I think your story and how intentional you've been behind your own growth is just really inspiring for a lot of people. So I just thank you for being so open with us and all of that.
So we always love to end with, who is Theresa outside of work? What brings you joy? What are you doing when you aren't at the custom shop? What's lighting you up outside of work these days and in general?
I'd have to say I'm a wife and a dog mom, and I really enjoy being outdoors. Spend a lot of time with family and friends, especially my two nieces. I have an identical twin, and she has two lovely nieces who my husband and I both adore spending time with. I mean, we're always figuring out different ways and different places to take them and for them to experience new things. But it's really much of that, besides the typical swimming, fishing, stuff like that. But I'd say my career is probably a little more exciting than the personal side of Theresa outside.
What kind of dog do you have?
Boxer.
Oh, little buddy.
Yep, it's our third one. So my husband and I, it'll be 20 years for us this coming year.
Oh,
Longer than that together, of course, but 20 years marriage. And this is our third boxer. We just love the breed. They're very high energy. Hence the reason why I love being outdoors, because
I was going to say, that's got to fit with y'all.
Yes. Yeah.
Congrats on 20 years together plus. That's cool.
Thank you.
well, Theresa, thank you so much. This was such a joy. And I just thank you for being honest and telling and sharing your story with us. And I really think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. You made it very easy. I'm nervous, and you made it so easy. It was a conversation. It felt like three of us just having a cup of coffee somewhere, like you said, Steph, earlier. It was cool. Thank you. And I appreciate you inviting me on. It was very cool.
We're lucky to have you in the industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of ReVoicing the Future. You can subscribe to the podcast on all major streaming platforms or visit our website. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Women of NAMM. This episode was co-produced and edited by Natalie Morrison, Stephanie Lamond, and Julia Olsen. Together, we can help shape the future of our industry, one interval at a time. See you next time.